see from Manny today to kind of overcome what he dealt with this week and have the performance that he did?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, picking up where he left off, he kind of took a shot in the nose against Arizona, and we didn't realize it until after the game, and so that's why he didn't get midweek action. So I think it's a good example for others to see. I've been this guy too. Most players in a lot of sports feel like it's necessary to be out there consistently and be in a rhythm. That's probably the best way to be the best version of yourself, but if you can do it, you can do it. So get back on the horse, as they say, and show what you can do, and that's exactly what he did. And he's got some toughness to him. Like I said, we didn't know that originally, and then he's got some ability on the back end. He just went out there and did what he's capable of doing, and you know what he did on a very big stage last Friday against Oklahoma State.
No walks for Marcus tonight, first time this season. What did you see from him on the mound?
A lot of composure, really good presence. At times last year, we were overly critical of him in that category, and I think it was because we envisioned what he could become, and I think he's in the process of becoming that. And he's one of those guys that almost kind of, you're excited, but you're also like, man, I wish college was 5, 6. That's a sore topic, but wish you got to coach this guy for a long time. But he did well throwing strikes and a bunch of Ks. And in all seriousness, or actually a better joke would be, he had the queso thing going. I tell you what, there's a lot of good things about Knoxville and our campus. The people who work the games or a concert, Morgan Wallen concert, the security, they're incredible. And it affects our recruiting because they take good care of people. It affects my family. They take good care of them. But we've got a new security guy at the stadium, and he thinks queso is the name of a pitcher for obvious reasons. So I think that guy needs to improve, but the rest of anyone who works the basketball games and everybody else deserves a round of applause and some free Vol gear.
I mean, how's Manny sort of able to generate the pop he is despite not being, Gilbert wasn't a big guy, but, was a big guy. I mean, how's Manny get
No, Manny needs to get more physical. I mean, he's a guy who could, he could be, his draft year will be exactly what he dealt with last year. It's going to be a lot of talk, and he could make a really good amount of money there, but he can make a lot more money playing the big leagues for a long time. But to play a big league season, your body's got to withstand that and hold up. And Cal Ripken, if you've ever been next to the guy, is a huge person, and that had a lot to do with that streak on top of other things. So he's going to need to get more physical to be the best version of himself in college that he wants to be, but in the long run, he's made it very evident that he could be a big-time player in Major League Baseball. That's saying a lot for a freshman, but in order to do so, he's going to need to get more physical. Having said that, I think he's capable of doing tremendous things at the plate because of the whip that he's got in that bat. And, a lot of guys have shown too, precision can beat power. You might see that in some UFC fights tonight. But also baseball is a unique sport. I mean, it's not football. So there's some guys who can really do some damage to the baseball because of the efficiency of their swing, or with him, I'd call it whip.
Fargo was 0 for 9 coming into the weekend, and obviously 2 pretty big games. What's been different about him the last 2 days than maybe the last couple of weeks?
A different attitude, for sure, and that's easy to say, but what happens is you start playing the game and it doesn't go your way, or maybe we don't put you in the lineup and you get frustrated and you get derailed. You've as an athlete, either earlier on campus today, or you have all these decisions piling up. And if you take one wrong decision, it might lead to another set of decisions and another one. And next thing you know, just a couple human nature type things, getting frustrated with a call that you didn't think went your way, and then something else, it can really wreck your day. And he's had a different attitude. And I've used the example of him and then any other player, I think, in baseball. The more determined you are, the better you are. But every day is unique, and each repetition or opportunity is unique. And I just think he's taken it upon himself to take a stand. And emotional players are probably the most fun to coach, because if they do it right, it turns into passion. But if they don't, it kind of turns into like, hey, this guy, doesn't need to bring down the party. And I've been that guy again. Everybody's been that guy to some extent. But whether he's done it on purpose or not, he's made a decision to have a better attitude, and it's affecting his play.
You guys have faced great adversity this week in fierce competition. You even went on record saying Michael, for them, he's a first-round talent. What do you like about how these guys have battled, especially today against him, and got some runs across early?
Yeah, I think the first inning, didn't go our way, and I think fans are going to need to realize there's going to be times that kudos to our offense for raising expectations, but there's going to be innings where you get a 0 on the board. Those innings need to be at least valuable because we've seen what the pitcher can do, or you start accumulating the pitches, and that didn't really happen much till the second and third inning, but he had a shortened night for whatever reason, but the bottom line is our guys started to tack on the pitch count, found a way to do damage, and really it was with 2 strikes. So when you get to a guy that's got that type of stuff and he's throwing strikes, you're going to have to battle with 2 strikes. You're not going to get to stand up there and just wail away at a 2-0 pitch that's grooved right down the middle. But no, I think our guys have shown toughness in a different way than other teams, and I hope that trend continues because the season's going to get tougher, and so you got to, again, one of those choices. You can get tougher along with it, or you can go the other way.
Tony, how valuable is it for a guy like Dean to, when he has moments where things aren't going as well as they normally do, defensively or whatever's going on, or even at the plate, he doesn't seem to change. Like his approach doesn't change. He'll still take his walks. He'll still kind of work his way back into it. How valuable is that?
That's not going to happen. I mean, that guy's not going to waver. So, I mean, I wish I could assure you other things, like he's going to do this or that. He stole a base tonight. I'm just as fast as he is. We can race, but he's a tremendous base runner. So he's not always going to steal a base, not always going to hit a home run tonight, not always going to make great defensive plays, but he's not going to waver. And so I'm going to quote a guy in the past, I'm going to get out of my lane here about pro baseball. We talked about Manny. Dean is going to be able to withstand a pro season because of that kind of stoic, non-wavering mentality, and obviously he's got the physicality to go with it too.
What gave you confidence that Levi would be able to handle backing up, protecting Andrew? Because it seems like teams are really pitching around Fisher to, I don't know, to intentionally give to Levi, but what gave you confidence he could handle that?
Yeah, and a little bit of it is Fish doing a good job, for the most part, knowing the strike zone, and then other people see him take a mammoth swing. It's intimidating. I mean, I've been in the other dugout, but it also, you kind of feel it. If sometimes you catch yourself just being a bystander and watching the game, and sometimes some of those swings are just intimidating. But Levi has got the poise of an upperclassman and the physicality, of an upperclassman as well. It's reminiscent of Dean, and our lineup was stacked the right way. Dean, I think, was behind KT most of the year, but you could have slid him up a spot or two as well. And so kind of that precious combo of a freshman of being so physical and yet so composed.
Tony, do you have a plan for tomorrow on the mound?
No, we told everybody to be all hands on deck, and then because of tonight being shorter, Snead got cut short, and T. Frank gave me the old "Are you serious?" look when we told him his night was done last night, but he did a great job coming in and getting that guy out. So it's nice that those 2 guys are available. It's not going to be every Sunday on a weekend that you have both those guys, a fresh Combs, a fresh Deloy, but there's other guys as well. And Tegan showed you he could start. I don't know that that's what we'll do, but we feel good about the fact that there's a plethora of options, and we'll just kind of mix and match as we see fit.
You mentioned last night how great this fan base is, and you wanted them to get out to the basketball game and come out here. Were you happy with the turnout tonight?
Yeah,
It
was great. And to be honest with you, I mean, tonight was probably a bigger crowd. I think we got a layup from the basketball team. Thanks for the courtesy chuckle. But last night is the night that stuck out to me. That was the first time there was a different buzz in the air. And that's not that we've gotten cheated with crowds. I mean, the weather hasn't been great, and obviously we're building. I didn't do anything to you. I haven't told you guys what tonight. I was doing well tonight. I've not told you what stories to write. I did not talk about kissing players. I didn't say basketball was more important than baseball. I've been doing well, but I had a phone thrown at me for those listening to the podcast. But to me, last night there was a different buzz in the air. You could feel it, and that's coming on a massive scale pretty soon. But there's nothing wrong with coming out tomorrow in big numbers and having some energy to you too. But last night was a Friday. It was our first Friday night baseball game of the year, and appropriately what followed was a different buzz and noise in the air. It was fun, and I'm excited about more of that to come.
Thanks, Coach.